Hey everybody, welcome to my live stream today. And hopefully my video quality and live stream background quality is going through more clearly today. It better not be coming across as blurry again like when I rewatched my live stream from yesterday. Yesterday my live stream when I hours later, it was pretty frustrating. You know, you take all that hard work and time and hours getting ready and preparing for a live stream, and then I found out that the background and the picture looked just terrible. It was blurry. It was like complete crap. That stressed me out so bad the other night. This live stream, better be going through clearly the way it's previewing or looking at my screen right now. It better not be going through all blurry again and all smeary. Anyway, I'll just bear with me real quick. I'm gonna go turn on a little bit more of my studio and stage lighting. Make it a little bit brighter in here. All right. I think we are almost about ready to start the live stream. Probably one other thing I probably could be doing. Oh well, I don't know. There, that ought to do it. Now let's get started. And I'm sorry for the wait. Let's get started with this live stream today. Actually, let me see if I can move this up just a little bit closer up. All right. I don't know why things are going like that. Oh well. It is what it is. All right. First of all, I'm going to show you on the front. Here's what we'll be doing today with the game. It's a trivia pursuit based on Harry Potter. All right. Now, some of these cards the other day I noticed had some duplicates in it. I apologize if that happens again today. I hope not, but just bear with me. And here's how this game will work today on the Harry Potter Trivia Pursuit. I'm going to read the questions on all the cards, and then at the end of the game, you all can comment below on the comment section down below to your answers of all the questions. Or just let me know what you think. Either way, the game is all about just having fun, having a good time, and enjoying. Now let's see what I can do. What was Voldemort's name when he was a student at Hogwarts? What position is Professor Umbridge appointed by Cornelius Fudge to address the seriously falling standards at Hogwarts? Which spells are cast by the Hogwarts professors to create a protective shield around Hogwarts? Arresto Momento, Bombarda, Maxima, Confondo B, Port, Protego Maxima, Finito or Finito, Jurari, Reprello. I can't even like say these, how these are pronounced. Malubos, Defindo, I don't know. Homonio, Rovilo. Half of these I can't even like pronounce. What is the mysterious symbol of Exceleviosus Lovegood's necklace represent? Who was forced to send his own son to Azkaban for being a Death Eater? What does Professor Slughorn collect from Aragog's dead body from Hagrid's permission, or with Hagrid's permission? Which Ministry for Magic is killed by Voldemort during the Battle of Hogwarts? Which student has a charm hanging from her neck to keep away the Nargles? What type of spell does Hermione cast on Harry when they are caught by snatchers? What does the Ministry of Magic use for interdepartmental memos? What is the only part of Peter Pettigrew's body that was found after he was alligated or murdered? What creatures does Dumbledore send Hagrid to recruit? Who told Voldemort of the prophecy of his downfall? Which in which in in incantation taken from the Half-Blood Prince book does Harry use to attack Draco Malfoy in the bathroom, leaving him covered in blood? What present does uh, Gr- Great or Grap give Hermione when they first meet? Who is editor of the Daily Prophet? Who dies during the escape from Malfoy Manor? There we go on that. Now, what cursed item is Katie Bell given in the Three Broomsticks? Oh, hey there! I just saw you come in the live stream or like chat. Welcome. Today we're doing and some of my like cards just now. Some of my trivia cards just all landed on the floor just now. We're doing a trivia pursuit Harry Potter game. Yesterday, my live stream, when I rewatched my live stream video at the end of the day while kicking in bed last night, I rewatched it and the quality all of a sudden was just terrible. I kind of felt kind of frustrated. Hopefully, my live stream uh video today is coming through clear and not blurry and cloudy and all smeared and looking just terrible like it did yesterday. On my end, or previewing it as I when I am live, it showed just like it is now, clear on my end. But everybody, please let me know if the video quality is coming through clear and crisp or not, or let me know if it's coming through blurry again. I sure hope not, but I tried to add more of my stage and studio lighting, like more lights too to make it brighter. Oh, excellent! You say that it looks very clear. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. Um, hopefully it stays that way. Anyway, let's get started back to the trivia games, and hopefully I don't end up running across cards like I did yesterday that look like they might be duplicated. That really confused me the other day. Not knowing sure if I was rereading certain questions twice or not. Anyway, let's go back to the card that I was on where we left off. What what cursed item is Katie Bell given in the Three Broomsticks? What exam is Harry taking when the Weasleys left off fireworks in the exam room? I remember that one. I think like if I remember right, that one Ron Weasley's like brothers, two twin brothers came into the room. Yeah, and everybody was like all the other students were sitting down and there were fireworks going off and wasn't there like a big like monster at the end that came from the ceiling and turned into like jaws or a bunch of teeth or something? I'm trying to remember that lady's name. I think it actually said right on. No, I didn't. That lady was usually dressed in like pink or something. I'm trying to remember what her name was called. She kind of took over the whole entire castle like if she owned it, and she was nobody liked her in that movie. I remember everybody was trying to figure out ways to. I'd have to rewatch that. It's been a while. I own all the Harry Potter all movies and collections, but it's been like forever, or to even have the time to be able to watch all those. You say her name was Dolores or Dolores. All right. Which one of the which one of the unforgivable curses is used to torture the victim? What does what does Grifhook all want in exchange for helping Harry to break into Gringotts? Who escorts the real Harry Potter during his escape from Private Drive or Privet Drive? What creature attacks Mr. Weasley while as he is on guard duty at the Department of Ministries? After Voldemort attacks Harry with the killing curse in the Forbidden Forest, who checks to see if he is dead? What is the what is the Lavender's nickname for Ron when they are seeking eat when what is what oh let me start over with this question. What is Lavender's nickname for Ron when they are seeing each other? Which ingredients does Snape find missing from his stores during Harry's fourth year at Hogwarts? I think I remember that one. I thought Professor Snape. I didn't Professor Snape say on that one, to Harry, shall like something, some kind of saying or some kind of comment, to Harry, like, shall you ever steal from my potion store again? I don't know. He said something like that, followed by the "Don't lie to me." I think I'm thinking of that one correctly. I think it matches up. I think I'm thinking of the right part from that movie. I just am trying to think of what the name of which movie that one, which Harry Potter movie that one was on. Who has bequeathed gifts to Ron, Harry, and Hermione that the Ministry for Magic personally delivers? Who does Hermione impersonate using Polyjuice potion when she, Ron, Harry, and Griphook break into Gringotts? What are the skeptical or what are the skeletal winged horses that pull the carriages from Hogsmeade to Hogwarts? Why do why does Harry have the ability to speak Parson par Pars or Parcel tongue? I believe it said. Remember that one? Well, actually, I don't want to give away the answer, so I better not say too much information about that one. How are Hogwarts headmasters celebrated in the current headmaster's office? What form does Luna Lovegood's Pat- Patronus take? What color does remember turn to let someone know they've forgotten? When Harry, Ron, and Hermione arrive at Hogsmeade, Hogsmeade after narrowly narrowly escaping their break into Gringotts Bank, who leads them to safety? Who do Harry, Ron, and Hermione catch spying on them in number 12, Grimmauld Place? Who is taken captive when Harry goes to face Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest after the Battle of Hogwarts? Who does Harry invite to Slughorn's Christmas party? What type of memory is needed for a Patronus charm to work? Patronus. On their quest for the philo- Philosopher's Stone, Harry, Ron, and Hermione need to catch what flying object? Who is speculated or who is speculated to be the informant leaking Dumbledore's secret in Rita Skeeter's book? What does Fawkes do the first time Harry meets him in Dumbledore's office? Who do Harry and discover hidden in Bathilda or Belthilda Bagshot skin in her home at Godrich Hollow? Oh, I accidentally like tilted up accidentally the card. Hopefully nobody saw any of the answers on the back of this card on the bottom. in which in which of Harry's school years does Harry become Quidditch captain? Avada Avada Kada 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 Kedavera is known as which curse? Some of these names I have a hard time saying or pronouncing, and I'm sorry about that, but they're just like hard names to say. What headline does Harry read in a newspaper of the King's bus or the night bus? Who sends a message during Bill and Fleur or Flu's wedding to warn everyone that the ministry has fallen? What kind of creature is the basilisk lurking in the Chamber of Secrets? No, I don't know. Some of the questions on this card are kind of goofy. What ministry initiative is Dor Dolores or Doralice Umbridge in charge of when the Death Eaters take control? What type of headdress does Luna wear to support the Gryffindor Quidditch team during Harry's sixth year? What is the incantation for the spell that reduces solid objects into tiny little pieces? According to Professor Dumbledore, what kind of objects could conceal a Horcrux or Horcrux? What are the initials of Harry's oldest son? Which beloved pet is killed during Harry's escape from Pri- Priv- Privet Drive with the Order of Phoenix? According to Professor Slughorn, what is the purpose of a Horcrux? A. Immortality. B. Power. C. Or victory? Who is the ghost of Ravenclaw Tower? Actually, let me see. What potion is used to force someone to tell the truth? Who are the only two people that can retrieve the prophecy from the Department of Ministries? Which school champion scores the highest points in the second task of Twiz or Twi Wizard tournament? A hippogriff or a hippogriff has the body, hind legs, and tail of a horse, and the wings of head of what creature? That was an interesting one. What does Harry use to destroy the diadem of Ron or Rowena Ravenclaw? What is Professor Slughorn's favorite treat as discovered by Tom Riddle? Which potion allows the drinker to temporarily assume the form of someone else or somebody's or let me repeat that question. Which potion allows the drinker to temporarily assume the form of someone's or somebody else? What is Horace Slughorn disguised as when Harry first meets him? On whose grave does Hermione see the symbol that Xenophilus Lovegood was wearing on a necklace? A. James and Lily Potter's B. Godric Rick Gryffindor C. Anat Ignatus Peverellus or Peverellus, however it's said. What should you never do to a hippogriff, as they are a very proud creature? They are a very proud creature. I'm sure that they are a proud creature. They should put them. They should put them on the TV show, the old Disney TV show, The Proud Family. Then Expecto Patronum is the incantation of which charm? Who became master of the Elder Wand after Albus Dumbledore? What department in Ministry of Magic does Arthur Weasley work in when Harry first meets him? Hold on, everybody. I gotta drink a little bit of tea real quick, if that's all right. Oh, my throat is getting kind of, from all the constant talking. Oh, hold on real quick. Behind me in my little stage pantry, a storage wall behind my chair, I have a little tiny little emergency backup beverage section back there, or things for my blood sugar and you name it. I'm gonna grab two of my favorite pure leaf teas down there below real quick behind my chair. I'll try to do this real quick. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get at, but oh yeah, here we are. Oh yeah. And all my cards just fall on the floor. Very nice. All right. I'll drink this tea real quick and then I'll finish my questions. Or we or I mean we can get back to the fun trivia. Sometimes my body tells me if I'm lacking on caffeine. And it helps to look directly upward into all the lights, into all the extremely massively but bright lights that that can destroy your eyes that you're not supposed to look up in. One more. Just bear with me real quick. I'm almost ready to get started. Back to the trivia. All right. Now I don't know if the cards that I did right here are right next to me that were on my chair or the ones that I put over there. I guess we'll just guess. Yeah, I think these are correct. I just don't want to be reading. I just hope I'm not going to be reading like that none of these and none of the questions on any of these Harry Potter trivia or game cards that I'm not reading the same questions twice. All right, back we go. Along with Bellatrix Lestrange, how many high security prisoners does Voldemort break out of Azkaban? Cormac McLagan tries out which Quidditch position? What is the spell Harry uses to retrieve his broom when battling the dragon in the first task of the Triwizard Tournament? What is the spell Harry uses to retrieve? Oh, I read that one. Excuse me. Next question. The ghost of which of Harry's loved ones appear when he uses the Resurrection Stone? What is the name of Slytherin Quidditch captain during Harry's second year at Hogwarts? What type of dragon is Norbert? If only dragons really existed in real life, what would all of you think? What would all of you fans and members think if dragons really did exist in real life, and all of a sudden one day you you were out in the community somewhere and you saw a dragon out of nowhere, a huge dragon? What would be your reaction? What would be the first thing that you would be thinking? And also, for security reasons, how would you react? What would you do? What would be your first uh, thought to mind that comes to mind if you saw a dragon in real life, out in the community, out of nowhere, unexpected? Would it kind of throw your mind off a little bit too? All right, this is another like card right here with questions that some of the words I can't even pronounce or say again. I'm not sure if I even can read the some of the questions on this card. What I'll do my best to try to read them and pronounce the words on here as best as I can. What does Dumbledore conjure to protect himself and Harry from the inferi in the cave? Which which Triwizard Tournament champion abandons the second task without completing it? What are the effects of the spell Fura Verto as taught by Professor McGonagall to her students in their second year? What phrase appears on the golden snitch after Harry presses it against his lips? That's interesting. In the when I was younger and watching all the Harry Potter movies from growing up, I don't recall. It's interesting. I don't recall or remember Harry Potter ever pressing the golden snitch against his lips in any of the Harry Potter movies. The only thing I can remember one time, actually, no, I shouldn't say anything again. I gotta I gotta stop talking about it because I'll accidentally give away the answers, possibly. But I don't. All I can say though is I don't recall Harry Potter ever pressing the golden snitch against his lips. That's interesting. Then again, it's hard sometimes to keep track of every single thing that happened in all the Harry Potter movies. There were so many Harry Potter movies out there, and after a little bit, and as you get older too, and also as you get busier in life, or so forth, and you don't get like as much time to watch movies and all this other or a lot, you can kind of your brain can automatically sometimes when it comes to movies bits and pieces start to kind of fade a little bit, or you have to like be reminded or think about it for a little bit and it should come back to you, but it just but I have to say that the question, however, though, Oh, I don't. I still don't think though that like that he had it against that he did oppress anything or possesses anything against his lips or the golden snitch. There's one thing I remember in one of them that happened with Harry Potter versus the golden snitch, but that's not what the question was asking on this one. So I'm just like I'm very confused at the moment. I was just really trying to think. And it just kind of throws me off a little bit. Oh well, let me know. Let me know if any of you have any like ideas or anything that I might not be remembering with that part, or if you remember any of you remember seeing something different. Anyway, next question: Who was Katie Bell convinced she had to deliver the curse necklace to? What kind of creature attacks Hermione in the girls' toilets? Let's see here. Which one of the Weasleys dies in the Battle of Hogwarts? Who discovers Harry after he has been attacked by Draco Malfoy on the Hogwarts Express? I think they're talking about. I'm not giving away the answer. And just before I say anything, I want to make sure. Oh, excellent. What I was going to say, so I'm not giving away the answer. I was just checking on the back to make sure that this doesn't give away the answer to or any of these questions. I thought that the isn't the Hogwarts Express considered the train that Harry Potter and Malfoy were on? What type of what type of portion or what type of potion does Hermione use to fill the cakes of Krabby and Goyle when Harry and Ron wish to impersonate them using Polyjuice portion? What object serves as the portkey to take the Weasleys, Diggory's, and Harry and Hermione to the Quidditch World Cup final? Where does Charlie Weasley live when he is studying dragons? What shape does the boggart take when Harry practices the Patronus charm with Professor Lupin? Again, I keep trying to lean my chair like closer to the screen, or try to kind of lean my body closer and closer to the screen so I can, like, hoping, that, like, maybe because I've noticed that my screen does some weird stuff when I lean back. And and the farther that I lean forward, the screen is displays that it gets brighter and all that, but then it fades when I go back. Although I have a lot of other cameras I can use, it's hard to know if it's the camera or if it's this camera itself, or if there's a problem with the internet, like, connection off and on or so forth. But I don't see a tag, so that must be all right. But because it can't be the type of lighting. Oh well, let me know if any of you fans notice any kind of blurry. Earlier though, one of my fans earlier, like, was saying, that, like, that the live stream quality looked very crisp and clear. So hopefully it's still looking that way, the way that it usually does. If not, I'm gonna have to look into that and get that fixed as soon as possible and try to, like, figure out. I just hope it's not. I hope my live stream and video quality isn't blurry, like getting blurry or having issues like it was yesterday. On my side of the screen and previewing, it's hard for me to tell. Let's see here. Trying to see if this. I'm trying to see if this, like, card is asking the same questions again, or is another duplicate. But, like, it's hard after doing when you read so many cards. It's hard to know if I'm reading a card, another duplicate card, or if it's questions that I have not already asked already on the card. Let's hope that this is still another new card and that it's not like a second or spare duplicate that I'm reading. Anyway, let's see. Who kills Bellatrix Lestrange after the Battle of Hogwarts? I'm gonna try to see if I can turn down this card a little bit lower, because I hopefully nobody's like seeing the answers on the bottom of this card, of all these cards. Sometimes I notice I have them a little bit slanted. After Harry has taken Fel- Felix Felicius, or however his name is spelled, Felicius, what what does he catch Professor Slughorn doing? What spell does Hermione use to freeze the Cornish pixies after they wreck havoc in Professor Lockhart's classroom? Wasn't that one professor that was new that came in, that signed and gave Harry Potter all those books free of charge, and very little did they know that that professor was just taking credit from all other wizards did. Of course, none of them knew that until way later. What do Harry and Hermione use to travel back in time? What position does Oliver Wood play for Gryffindor Quidditch team? What form does the Patronus take that leads Harry to the lake where he finds the sword of Gryffindor? I remember that one too. Of course, I remember in that one, Hermione and Ron Weasley and everybody was saying, how the sword later on somewhere in that Harry Potter movie. I'm trying to remember what scenery too. Everybody was trying to tell or trying to say, that that they thought that the sword belonged to Harry Potter and it came to him when in extreme need, and everybody like thought, that the sword can come to anybody, but that doesn't mean that it was Harry Potter, that it belonged to Harry Potter. But Hermione or Miley or Hermione and Ron Weasley all tried to convince and say that it did, and they all thought the sword belonged to Harry. Ah, who kills Sirius Black during the battle at the Ministry of Magic? Which Hogwarts student is harmed by a cursed necklace? What spell does Hermione use to stop the Ragu or Blugler that targets Harry during a Quidditch match against Slytherin? What present or what present does Sirius leave Harry in his third year enclosed with a hippogriff feather? What is the name of the landlord of the Leaky Cauldron? who does Harry sing, or who does Harry hear singing when he opens the golden egg underwater? I'm trying to think here. Like, hey there, Tucker Kerwin. Welcome. I'm doing another rest of the from yesterday's live stream. I'm doing a second part today of Trivia Pursuit of Harry Potter. And also, compared to yesterday on your end, how does my video quality and live stream look today on your side? Another one of my fans and members told me earlier on their end it looked clear and crisp today. So hopefully it does on your end. But like, how does it look so far on your end? Oh, Tucker Kerwin. Excellent. That's good to hear. Now the thing is, I'm since I'm still using like the same camera as yesterday, but like I have a lot of other cameras and equipment and spare that I can use. But I don't know. The thing is, I from yesterday's like technical issues, I don't know if that's the problem or not for sure. And it can't be the lighting. But I noticed that like when I lean forward on my end right now, it looks like it gets a little brighter and it dims a little bit when I go back. So I've been kind of scrunched forward in this live stream a little bit, as close up the camera as I can. Yeah, I don't know if it's an internet like issue or not. I'd like to say I hope not, but again, we try to uh we try to keep like everything all up to the highest notch as possible, and also with as much backup equipment and you name it. But at the same time, it still doesn't mean that things can't malfunction like all of a sudden or unexpectedly. But I don't know. Let's just hope today that that everything is continuing to be 100% to the highest notch as possible. So far, it sounds like so far so good today with that. All right. Some of these I cannot pronounce, and some of the words are kind of hard to pronounce or say on some of the questions on here. Let's try it. Let's continue to just try. I'm gonna try reading them anyway. Let's try this. Put that down a little bit. So my answer. So the answers on the back are not shown. On what part of the body do Death Eaters display the dark mark? A, their necks. B, their forearms. C, their chests. What subject does Charity Bur- Burbage teach? Or I think I said his name correctly. Which spell do students learn when trying to levitate a feather in Professor Flintwick's charms class? How many years back ago in time does Harry travel via Tom Riddle's diary? Which team plays in the 422 second Quidditch World Cup final? What type of dragon guards the vaults at Gringotts? A. Ukrainian Ar Belly. B. Hungarian Horntail. C. Common Welsh Green. All right. The Death Eaters use a pair of vanishing cabinets to gain entry into Hogwarts. One is, one is in Hogwarts. Where is its twin? A member of which schoolhouse is in favor of handing Harry over to Voldemort just before the Battle of Hogwarts? How long does the Polyjuice portion take Hermione to brew when the trio wants to use it to integrate Draco Malfoy during their second year? What flavor Bertie Bott's every flavor bean does Dumbledore sample when using Harry's? I don't know how to say that. I'll ask the next question. What is the name of Cedric or Cedric Diggory's father? Professor Umbridge insults what creature in front of Harry and Hermione in the Forbidden Forest? Why did Tom Riddle change his name to Lord Voldemort? A. Because his father was a muggle and he was ashamed. B. Because he wanted a new identity. C. Because it was easier to remember. How is the ghost of Ravenclaw Tower related to Hogwarts founder or Rowena Ravenclaw? How is the ghost of Ravenclaw Tower related to Hogwarts founder? Or sorry, I already read that one. Excuse me. Next question. What charm does Hermione use to open a locked door when into trial are running from Flinch in the third floor corridor or corridor? How did the students open the monster book of monsters? What color is the Bio Exalbations or Bastions school uniform? Why can only some people see theatrals? Not sure if I read or if I'm not sure if this question is another, or I'm not sure if this card is a duplicate again. So the same questions I asked at all. I hope not, but we'll have to see. It looks new to me, but it's hard anymore to tell like which one it might be another copy or duplicate in this card stack. What do Harry and Dumbledore find in the cave that they expect is a Horcrux or Horcrux? Think I said it right. How many years after the Battle of Hogwarts does Harry's son, Albus Servius, go to Hogwarts for the first time? What does the spell Wing Wingardium Leviosa do to objects is used on? What object in the Weasley's house shows the location and status of each family member? I remember that one too. Which Ministry of Magic employee expels Harry after the Dementor attack in the Underpress because of his use of underage sorcery? Sorcery. What is the name of Hermione's cat? I don't even remember the name of Hermione's cat anymore. I thought Hermione's cat. Well, the name of Hermione's cat had a funny name to it, but I don't even know anymore what Hermione's cat was. Where does Professor Dumbledore first meet Tom Riddle? On his search for Roina or Ravenclaw's diadem, Harry speaks with which ghost? What spell does Ron use to knock out the troll loose in Hogwarts Castle? I thought it was kind of funny in that scenery when I'm trying to think of what his name was that came in the kitchen or came out of nowhere, like right into the cafeteria. Everybody was sitting down eating. Troll in the dungeon! Troll in the dungeon! I thought you ought to know. And then he fades out and falls on the floor, and everybody like panics, and then there's old Professor Dumbledore. Silence! What does the night bus have instead of seats? My favorite, in I think, when Harry Potter was younger. I think it was like I don't know if it was the first Harry Potter or actually no, it was. I think it was like Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I believe it was when Harry Potter was getting on the train, and then the guy like is helping him on the train, but like he's talking to him, and then he looks down, and Harry Potter fell over his suitcases and is laying on the ground, and he's going, oh, and the assistant is like looking at him below and going, "What you doing down there?" And Harry Potter goes, "I fell over." And the assistant goes, "What did you fell over for?" Who finds Harry and Dudley in the underpass after the Dementor attack? According to legend, what is inside the Chamber of Secrets? What object in the Department of Mysteries is Voldemort after? After his death, Who succeeds Dumbledore as headmaster of Hogwarts? What is the incantation of the body blind curse? What does Dumbledore send to Harry with his phoenix in the Chamber of Secrets? What is the full name of the driver of the night bus? Who throws the knife that catches Dobby in the chest? Oh, that was a hard part. That was a hard scenery, little scenery, and all in that Harry Potter movie. I can't really talk about that one. In what part of Hogwarts Castle does the troll find Hermione before Harry and Ron come to rescue? What does Dumbledore cast around the Goblet of Fire to prevent younger students from entering into Twizzwiz or Twiwiz or Triwiz tournament? Where do Fred and George first get the Marauders map? I remember that one too. Didn't they give that map? Yes, I know that they did. At some point, they gave that map to Harry Potter, and eventually Professor Lupus uh, catches them with that map. First, Professor Snut. Actually, first Professor Snape catches Harry Potter with that map and wants him to reveal his secrets, open it, read it, reveal his secrets, and then that's when Professor Lupin, Professor Lupus or Lupin, like catches or like catches and takes them and handles it. What is Professor Dumbledore's first name? Which fiendish creature are seen in the room of, of requirement or of requirement when Harry is searching for the diadem of Ravenclaw? A. Cornish pixies. B. Grindylows. C. Gnomes, gnomes, or grom or gnomes, grom. No, I don't know how to say it. We'll just call it gnomes. Let's see here. I have a feeling some of these cards now might be some duplicates. Some of the other ones, I'm not sure. Well, I'll read the questions on here anyway, but hopefully these are new. Oh, yeah. What does OWL stand for? And no, it does not stand for one of the other members and fans, the blinking owl. No, 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 no. Unfortunately, what does the spell Lacarnium inflammare inflammare do the do when Hermione uses it on Professor Snape's robes when she suspects him of jinxing Harry's broom during a Quidditch match? What saves Harry, Ron, and Fang from being devoured by the spiders in the Forbidden Forest? What is Lupin's middle initial? What type of animals carry posts and packages in the wizarding world? In Harry's second year at Hogwarts, which first year students thought to have been taken by the monster in the Chamber of Secrets? What subject does Professor uh, Grubbly Plank teach in Harry's fifth year? What is the name of the curse in effect in Bellatrix Vault, which causes everything touched to multiply? How many types of balls are used to play Quidditch? What is the Madame Maxium or first name? What creature tries to attack Harry, Ron, and Hermione outside of the Shrieking Shack. Or I think I said that right. Yeah. Just noticing that there's a flickering bulb in here. I hope all of you uh fans and members are not like seeing that on your end of the screen. I just noticed that there's a blinking or like flickering bulb, blinking and flickering off and on a lot through this live stream. Not The thing is, I want to be able to turn it off and all that before it hurts my head and my eyes, but there's not there's not much I'm able to do about it from over here, unfortunately. But it's really starting to like flicker and blink in and out a lot more frequently. You know what? Let me see if I can somehow like really quick. Let me go see real quick if I can shut that light down. I just do not know the screen. I don't know if the Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can turn on another one and turn that one off. I just hope that it doesn't affect the screen or the background screen and make everything blurry or other. But like, hold on real quick. Let me go try something a sec. It's like, thinking more about it, that could drive somebody just crazy, and also flickering lights can actually be very unhealthy. So I let me try this a sec. Let me try adding and turning on another light and see if this helps. Question is now, where am I going to put it? That's the thing. Oh, never mind. I don't know why I was saying that. Let's try this. See how this goes. All right. Let's turn this over that way. See how that goes. Let me see if I can get. Let me see if I can turn that light on right there too. This flood right here, real quick. That spotlight I might be able to turn on too. Let's see if I can get this. Actually, I don't even know if I have a second one of those. Actually, you know what? It'll work. Let me see if I can get this lighting on. I just don't like the way it's going in and out like that. All right. Perfect. Looks like I might have fixed and solved the mystery. Now, let's go back to what we were doing. Sorry for the little hold up, everybody. See, I'm trying to think if this is the same. No, it probably is. All right, let's try this. And if this sounds familiar or seems the same as from another card earlier or any of the same questions, feel free to let me know. But I think I got that. But I mainly, sorry about the hold up a few ago. Well, when I had to kind of like get up to go take care of some lighting real quick, I had to go turn. Let's see if I can get like one thing of lighting like turned off and a couple of other backups turned on. But there was a flicker really bad on one of the upper lightings, and I wanted to shut that down, that lighting down real quick, and turn on the backup lighting. Oh, because it's very unhealthy to be around blinking or flickering bulbs, and also for the health and safety of all my members and fans as well. I I needed to go shut that lighting down. Anyway, now let's get back to the Harry Potter Trivia Pursuit game. According to Sirius Black, which member of Durham Strang is a former Death Eater? In which of Harry's school years does Professor Snape finally get to teach defense against the dark acts or against the dark arts? According to Hermione, when performing a curse, what is essential for it to work properly? Whose image appears on the Daily Prophet's front page, labeled as undesirable number one? What is the name of Gilderoy Lockhart's self-praising autobiography? Biography. Harry practices the Patronus charm on what type of creature in Professor Lupin's office? What is used to destroy the Horcrux cup? After Ron eats a box of chocolates laced with love potion, Harry takes him to which professor? In real life, you wouldn't want to eat like too much chocolate. Although there are a lot of there are some chocolates out there that can be a little bit healthier that can have be really good for you to eat a little bit. Like like what I said in one of my in one of my videos, I believe it was the other day or some sort. I don't know if I got that one published. Hopefully so. But in general, a lot of chocolates are not very good for our bodies, actually, except for dark chocolate. Even then, you got to check out the sugar content and some other like ingredients. But if you absolutely are going to eat a little bit more chocolate, dark chocolate with the highest percentage of cocoa means healthier. But the higher in cocoa percentage you go, the more bitter it's gonna taste. But again, if you want to have a little bit sweeter, you can go with a really good kind by the brand Ghirardelli. My favorite is dark mint or Ghirardelli chocolate. Those by that brand and that company, their chocolates are overall a lot healthier for you. But like dark chocolate, you can get like dark mint Ghirardelli chocolate or 60% cocoa dark chocolate. That's going to be a little bit more bitter, but you're getting a lot of good antioxidants. At the same time, though, there's everything in moderation, but like everything is going to have their pros and cons. And unfortunately, sometimes also one of the cons is some of the things that like dark chocolate can cause or do. They can trigger migraines and headaches all of a sudden. Oh, or if you have too much of it, or nausea, or all this other like issues, or GI issues, it can upset your stomach. And also, if you got to be careful what you mix or you eat with it together, or anything that has caffeine. Because remember, dark chocolate has some ingredients in it that's also a caffeine. And if you're already taking something that already has a high content of caffeine, that's another thing to be mindful of. But anyway, if you want one that's a little bit sweeter, I recommend by a high quality Ghirardelli dark mint Ghirardelli chocolate by Ghirardelli brand. You can have with talking with your doctor first. If your doctor is all right with whatever you might already be taking or doing, ask them what they think about you consuming one time every day after your first meal or so for four small cubes of dark mint Ghirardelli chocolate. And remember, 4 cubes is suffice the max that you should probably like eat. I wouldn't recommend. Depends on everybody else's weight, overall health, weight, age, and so forth. Some people's bodies can hold or more than others, but at the same time, the safe rule of thumb is no more than 4 cubes, 4 square cubes of chocolate a day. And even then, you got to also listen to your body and your stomach. The thing you do not want to do is keep on overtaking until you feel some kind of sign that your body's telling you to stop eating it. It's not the best scenario to be doing. And always talk to your doctor first before you start going wild on consuming anything that you put in your body. It's just a better safety rule of thumb. Remember in Harry Potter's, like when he had all those chocolates? Or actually, no, it wasn't him. Remember, not Harry Potter, but Ron Weasley. But remember the custodian or his cat or something, like, was sitting there in the hall. And remember, he had a bunch of chocolates, and look what happened to him. His face was breaking out. That wasn't a good sign at all. But also, he had too much chocolate. His body was reacting to it. Anyway, back on to the Harry Potter trivia pursuit now. Sorry about that little ramble rant. What happens to Harry's arm when Professor Lockhart tries to fix it after a Quidditch match? Uh-oh. I remember that one. And then he goes, yeah, that happens sometimes. But you're much more flexible now. And I'm gonna stop talking about it because before I give the answer away. What object does Dumbledore say allows him to revisit memories? How many brothers does Ron have? Or I'll say Ron Weasley. Ron Weasley. Wheeze. What item of clothing does Harry cleverly force Lucius Malfoy to give Dobby? Dobby. Dobby, Dobby, Dobby. Whose body is Voldemort possessing the first time he comes face to face with Harry Potter? Harry Potter. That's how I like saying his name. According to legend, who built the Chamber of Secrets within Hogwarts? Oh man, I gotta keep my card tucked down. Oh, so nobody sees the answers. When they travel back in time, what spell do Harry and Hermione see Professor Lupin use? Calm the Whopping Willow. I remember that old tree, the Whopping Willow. How many years has Sirius Black been in Azkaban prison? Good question. What type of creature grabs Harry's hand when he tries to take water from the lake to give Professor Dumbledore in Horcrux or cave? Creatures is my favorite word that I like to use in actual life out in the community, with everything from bats to you name it. And I'll say, like when one of my family friends, for an example, did some of my roofing one time and put new shingles on, they said that they saw some bats sleeping up there. And I said, the next day that they were over, I said, have you seen any more creatures? I said, we'll stick with the word creatures of describing like animals or wild animals and all other. And I was like, have you seen any more creatures up there yet? Which Hogwarts student was a fatality of Basilisk? Which subject does Professor Umbridge teach at Hogwarts? How many unforgivable curses exist? What object is known to have a flash memory? Or sorry, what object is known to have a flash memory? Who is the Half-Blood Prince? What is the secret to calming Fluffy, the third-headed dog? I repeat, who is the secret calming Fluffy, the third-headed dog? What is the incantation for the stunning spell? How is Harry is Albert Runcorn able to get into Dorley's Umbridge's office without being seen by the numerous personnel outside of it? Victor Krum is selected by the Goblet of Fire in Twi- Twizerland champion for which school? What is the name of Weasley's old owl? Which hand does Wormtail cut off to add to Voldemort's rebirth potion? How many players are on a Quidditch team? What is faulty in Weasley's flying car that allows Harry and Ron Weasley to be seen by muggles? Luna's father is the editor of which newspaper? What is written on Dobby's gravestone? Name the three other prisoners Harry and Ron find in dungeons of Malfoy Manor. Who grants Harry and Ron special awards for services to the school after their adventure in the Chamber of Secrets? What spell does Harry cast against Voldemort during their duel in the graveyard? What item does Albus Dumbledore bequeath to Ron? What position does Crumb play on the Bul- Bul- Bulgarian Quidditch team? What is the effect of the Dementor's kiss? Let's see if I can get this straightened out. Which family does the ring Horcrux belong to? Horcrux. Which professor does Dumbledore ask to teach Harry a a, acclimacy? What is the strategy conceived by the Order to rescue Harry from the Privet Drive without being identified? What one say or what must one say to hide the contents of the Marauders map? Which members of Dumbledore's army go to the Department of Ministries? Or, oh, excuse me, let me read that question again. Which members of Dumbledore's army go to the Department of Mysteries with Harry, Ron, and Hermione? Who finds Munungus Fletcher to and brings him Grimold place when Harry is looking for the stolen locket, Horcrux? Which is the Horcrux that Dumbledore finds which blackens his hand. Hey there, Tucker Kerwin. Welcome back. Yup. Still doing more Harry Potter trivia pursuit. I'll reread this question to you again, and for everybody else too. Which is the Horcrux that Dumbledore finds, which blackens his hand? And when they say about blackening his hand, isn't that isn't that those times like, oh, we're actually, no, I don't think I'm thinking about the right scenery. That was when Harry Potter got that writing on his hands. I thought when he was in detention, where his hand started, like words started showing up on his hand that said "mustn't tell lies" or something like that. And then Harry Potter's going like this, probably because it hurt. Probably that might not be the scene in the movie that I'm thinking about though. I don't really get a lot of extra time to watch all those huge movies anymore, and they're like all very often, especially the how busy I always am and all that too. What are Gryffindor's house colors? Or what are Oh yeah, I said that right. What are Gryffindor's house colors? What is the spell hom or hominium ro Ravilo used for? If I'm even pronouncing that right. Some of the words are hard to pronounce or even hard to say on some of these card questions. I think you're right, Tucker Kerwin. And gold also, I remember the golden snitch. I thought was like a type of gold too. Well, they called it the golden snitch, so it's just like what they called it. How many points is the snitch worth to the seeker that catches it? That's a good one. That was a good question. And Tucker Kerwin, you were right. It's 150 points. 150 points. Yay. That's a lot of points. Maybe they should have updated it to 300 points. Which Weasley brother first owns Scabbers as a pet? And I hope you don't all mind all some of the funny noises when I say Ron Weasley. I think the last name just sounds kind of funny. It sounds humorous. I guess I should say it as. Yeah, I don't know if I even know for sure anymore the answer to that question. Which Weasley brother first owned Scabbers as a pet? I don't I don't even remember that one. According to Griphook, who are the ones that can distinguish the sword of Gryffindor from the lake inside Bellatrix? Oh, Lestrange Vault. Let's see here. Get some of these cards straightened out. Who is asked to identify Harry Potter at Malfoy Manor when snatchers catch him? What subject does Professor Twel, Twel, Tw- Twanini teach? Or, or Twelon Twanini? Twanini teach? I don't know how to say his name. Who cast Fi- Fiandra Free in the realm of requirement? Whose wizard card does Harry find in his chocolate frog the first time he opens one? That one was a good question. Who do Harry as Albert Runcorn and Hermione as Malfoy or Hopkirk run into in an elevator at the Ministry of Magic? How does Harry kill the Basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets? I'm not exactly sure, Tucker Coolin, how many cards are in this game. Uh, or well, let's see. I've been kind of wondering that myself, actually. I'm trying to think if it even says on there. I don't think it says. I don't see the. Oh, I was gonna. Let me see if it says on the back of any of these cards. I'm guessing maybe there could be like 100 or more, 100, 200 cards. But the problem that confuses me a little bit sometimes, yesterday and today, so far though, off and on, is that I don't know. I think on some of these cards they put like a second thing of duplicate cards in there, which makes it kind of confusing off and on. It kind of really throws my brain off a little bit. Because then the thing that happens, I got the itchiest eye. Oh, yeah. The thing that like kind of really throws my brain off and really gets me confused and kind of really throws me off a little bit off and on and confuses me is off and on in yesterday's oh Harry Potter trivia pursuit game live stream off and on. I think that I was reading a second like thing of duplicate cards in here mixed in all of a sudden that have the same questions in there. Maybe not, but like to me, some of the questions seemed like like some that I might have already like read, but there's no way of knowing for sure if you did or didn't after you've read so many cards. So the thing that has been getting me the last 2 days, in yesterday's live stream and today, is that I don't know for sure if some of these cards all of a sudden off and on I might be asking the same questions twice or not. I don't think so. I've been trying to look really carefully as I go before I read the questions, but there's not any way of knowing for sure. Like the one that I'm looking at right now, for an example, this one looks different, has different questions. But then all of a sudden, I'm seeing in here, all of a sudden, there's like one, for an example, how about this question? This one, I think I could have sworn I already like asked in one of the other cards at the beginning of this live stream. The one that says, for an example, right here, what is the full or what is the full name of the conductor of the night bus? All the other questions on this card look different, but then there's one question on this one all of a sudden that I could have sworn I asked earlier that was in another card, and I don't know for sure. The thing is, like, it becomes like a mystery, and I don't really want to be reading the same questions or asking the same questions and reading the same on another card that has already been that I've already like asked and read, but there's no way to know for sure. So then it makes my brain start wondering, did I ask that already? Was that on another card or not? But like, I'm if it is, and all these are piled up together, you're never gonna know. And that's kind of the situation that I'm kind of like on right now. It could be that like you're right, Tucker Kerwin. You were saying that you did notice similar questions yesterday. Well, they might not be the exact questions. I don't know on other cards, but they can be similar and make it sound like as if you just read those. But there's no way to know for sure. And to me, it kind of causes me to kind of go like this, and then some I'll start going like that if I even think that, or I have to like on some cards I have to like skip a couple on one card that I know I haven't asked or read already that were different, and then disregard it. But it kind of causes that thing like extra homework, for an example, that you have to kind of do, because then you have to kind of go like this and quickly study everything on that card to see if it looks similar or the same. And I don't know. Maybe the company on here made a mistake somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what their plan was. Anyway, we can get started with another one. And let me know, everybody, if you notice something or a question that might on one of the cards that might have already been on there before. That is, if any of us know for sure or not. Anyway, let's get back to the questions. What is the third task the trial face in the hunt of the philosopher's stone? What is the trace? In that question, I don't even know what they're talking about or what they're asking in that question. What item must be champions receive or retrieve from the dragons during the first task of the Triwizard tournament? Which creature helps Dumbledore escape from his office after being threatened by the Ministry of for Magic? Hold on, everybody. I got to stand for a second. Ow! What that stuff is on my chair, son. Oh. Let me see if this one. How do you split your? Actually, no, that one I think I did ask the other day. I think all these questions. This card, I think I'm gonna bring over to the other pile because I think this one was the same. Has all the same questions from yesterday's. Luckily, I caught that one. I think all these are. Let's see about this one. Let's see if this card is new. I don't think so. Except maybe these two questions down here look new. Who is Remus Lupin's wife? I think that's actually the only one on that card that actually. She meant to say that she loves in that one. Oh, this one looks new. I don't think I read any. Oh, I don't think any of the questions on this card right here I read yet. Well, the top one does, it looks like. But what is the password Percy uses to access the Gryffindor common room during Harry's first day at Hogwarts? Oh, it had a funny name to it, I thought. But remember, I think I'm thinking of the right one. Remember, I think that lady was kept singing, and they wouldn't. He kept trying to say the password, and she wouldn't let everybody into their assorted houses. Or she wouldn't open the door. Remember, and she kept singing and singing. And remember, then when she kept going, wait, 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 and then when she sang again, some glass I thought shattered and all that. And anyway, the password had a funny name to it. I'm just trying to think of what they called it again, but maybe you'll all remember it. What spell does Draco Malfoy use against Dumbledore when he has him cornered in the astronomy tower? That's a good question. Which book includes a tale about the Deadly Hallows? Who founded the Order of Phoenix when the fight against Voldemort first began? What type of creature does Professor Quirrell teach everyone is loose in the dungeons of Hogwarts Castle? Let's see here. See, this one right here is the same. Oh, let's see. Let's try this one. I don't think the questions on this one are the same, but because I already probably did over 100 cards already, or other, it's hard keeping track of what's what or what already might have been. I don't know. Who kills Nagini? How do Durmstrang Institute students arrive at Hogwarts? Which spell does Hermione suggest that Ron used to solve the rain problem inside Yaxley's office? That's interesting. Did it rain? Did it rain in his office? When did it rain in his office? I don't recall. Like, oh, when I used to watch all the Harry Potter movies, I don't recall it ever raining in anybody's office. I think there was a picture that did, that looked like it had some drip drops of water or kind of rain like going down on it from a picture's face in one of the Harry Potter movies, maybe. But actually raining inside anybody's office, I don't recall that one. In the tall in the in the tale of three brothers, what prize does the first brother receive from death? What is Sirius' nickname for Sir or Severus Snape, stemming from their school years at Hogwarts? What type of creature is Fang? This one seems like it's. See, like this card right here, I know I read yesterday. I just noticed in some. Uh, this one has a question too. This question was probably already asked, but I think this is probably the last question. Looking through some of these that we gonna read in this live stream today because all these other ones seem like they're like all duplicates for sure now. Which type of sweets does Birdie Bot make? Which Weasley twin has his ear cursed off by Death Eaters when transporting Harry to the Burrow? Which creature aids in the escape of Harry, Ron, and Hermione from Gringotts? I think that's about all. Unfortunately, I think there was a lot more than that, but like I don't know what for some reason I just don't know what's probably have about two, maybe 300, 400 Harry Potter Trivia Pursuit cards to sort through to see if I did them all or if there was any new ones that I missed in there. I'm not sure, but I'll have to check out later. But as of right now, I think I read all the ones that I think were new that I was able to do in this trip in this Harry Potter Trivia Pursuit card game. The thing that I would like to know from all my fans, all of you fans and members of mine, what would you like for my next live stream? What would you like me to do for my next live stream? Or in because before I was doing a lot of Lego live streams until I got this great idea of feedback in from one of my fans and members about their idea about doing doing a live like card or trivia live streams. And I thought, hey, I like that idea. Maybe I'll try a few of those, see how it goes, see if everybody likes that. And if not, then I might just go just back to my usual Lego building live streams, which I'm still planning on doing sometimes too. But I started thinking, hey, this is new. I'll give it a try, see how it goes. And I like it and everything, but I've still been finding some things rather difficult when reading the cards and a couple of other things. At the same time, though, I still thought, hey, I was going to give it a try, and I still think it was fun. I hope you found it fun too. Anyway, let me know. Everybody, let me know if you have any feedback, comments, questions, or anything else you want to ask or know. And also, it's been fun. And if not already, and if you're new to my channel, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, give me the thumbs up above, comment down below, and don't forget to click on that bright shiny bell and set your notifications to all notifications so you all get alerted and updated whenever I post new videos or go live. And usually I go live stream every day except for Tuesdays. Well, also in case you want to know my member name, you could search for me on my YouTube channel by typing on the search the Electrical Expert 41. And you can also from my assistant, Tucker Kerwin, or my best friend, the Brit Guru, if you want my more information to get brought to my Discord channel. Please go to Tucker Kerwin or go to my best friend, the Brick Guru. In his YouTube channel, you type in the Brick Guru, and Guru is spelled Guru, and he'll direct you to my Discord channel. So you can follow me on Discord, and you can see my pictures and posts and anything else that I post on there as well. And also, I put my live stream schedule on there and any kind of info that all my members and fans would like to know. Anyway, this live stream again has been fun. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday afternoon. Actually going like later, like afternoon, later afternoon, early evening, so forth. Anyway, everybody have a good one. Bye.